My name's Curtin. I'm the marketing manager for Totem, OneLove. We're based in Melbourne. We organise music festivals such as Sonic and Creamfields. We have a record label, OneLove Recordings, and also do a lot of club touring and tours throughout the year. We organise music festivals as like our primary sort of business, but then we also have a record label, and we also have like a marketing division that that does marketing consulting work for different companies and stuff like that. But then the actual overall festival part of the business is a touring department, which is vital to the overall sort of festivals and business in general, in the sense that they are actually securing acts for us worldwide. Then we also have a production department that sort of service the actual event, whether it be anything from hiring toilets through to organising the lighting show for Tiesto or Armin van Buuren, or fireworks and all that sort of stuff. And then we've got a lot of external people that work for us. So we've got an external PR company, we've got an external web company that sort of builds all of our stuff. Just makes it a lot easier for us instead of having to have full-time staff working on all that stuff. Look, I think as a company it was really important for us to actually have two festivals running concurrently through the year. There was obviously Sonic, grew so fast that we saw a gap in the market in November, December, and that was Sonic. We felt towards the end of the festival season, towards the end of summer, we could really sort of find a different festival with Creamfields. It's a lot cheaper ticket. We only have one or two headliners. There's a lot of sort of more music sort of styled acts, and there's a lot of acts that are sort of just breaking or coming through. So it's a really good opportunity for us to actually tour some of these acts for the first time, or tour some of the more sort of music, trance or dubstep kind of acts, and bring them out, and then hopefully next year or the year after putting them into Sonic. I didn't, go through a traditional way of going to university. I got into business marketing when I turned 18 and finished year 12 and all sorts of different things. And at that time, university wasn't necessarily for me. I went off and travelled for a bit, and then set up my own sort of promotions company and organised a lot of different nights around town, and got a lot of hospitality experience and stuff like that. And then when I was 25, I decided to go back to university, did a Bachelor of Communication Business, majored marketing advertising, and really sort of found what I sort of wanted to do. But it was a really interesting way to do it, because I had a lot of life experience, I guess, for 5 or 6 years of actually working that I could actually put into studying at university. And we don't necessarily look for people that have your traditional arts or law or anything like that. It doesn't really compute in our industry. But having a degree in terms of event management or music studies or marketing or anything like that's a really interesting thing for us. But I think that you do need to have some life experience as well to sort of be able to work in this industry and be able to sort of hit the ground running. Have some skills in terms of managing your own time and managing yourself with others and stuff, which is definitely something that I see is really important. At university you will learn those sort of skills, even group projects and stuff like that. Like in 2007 when we launched Sonic, our aim was to have 6,000 people at the event, and we had 12,000 people at the event. I think that was, for me personally, I was like, wow, this is just amazing, and I could actually see in terms of a business how much we'd actually grown. We'd brought on and linked up with partners. So we were originally only OneLove, and then we linked up with Totem, and we became Totem OneLove, and I saw that. But last year, we broke all records. We had 65,000 people at Sonic, and that was probably the best in Sydney alone. That was the best event I've ever been involved in, and I guess I probably haven't had a career highlight yet, but they're the two highlights in the sense of a sense of seeing a company achieve something that we've all worked incredibly hard on. Probably just to concentrate on the major things that you actually want to do in life, and sometimes that it may not necessarily work out exactly how you want it to be, but it's a learning experience. And I've certainly done a lot of different things, and like open bars and manage nightclubs and you know, but I actually sort of found the true sort of passion of what I was doing in terms of actually organising events and marketing events, and then have just been really lucky that I've been able to put together and, you know, like literally right time, right place, you know, in terms of what we're doing with technology and in terms of what we're doing with, you know, all of our online things and stuff like that, you probably couldn't do 5 years ago. So now we're just sort of on the cusp and trying to roll with it as much as we can, I guess. And yeah, I just think that, like, just stick at it. Really make sure that utilise your networks, utilise your friends, and you know, utilise family, friends, and stuff like that, and think of things that, you know, they can do to help you. You know, doing a course like such as a Collarts or something like that's a great opportunity as well. So, you know, you can learn a lot from people that have, you know, got experience in the industry and stuff. But then also, just when you turn 18, like, you know, I thought I wanted to work in an advertising agency and all sorts of different things. But, you know, I look at it now and think, well, crazy, I wouldn't want to be doing that. So it's just finding the thing, and not necessarily when you're 18, it's going to be the thing that you want to do for the rest of your life. So, yeah.